Vanakkam, Namaste, and hello, everyone. Welcome to the fifth episode of Inside the Minds of Great Yogis. In today's episode, we have a very, very special guest joining us. And to start off, she's a yoga and Ayurveda lifestyle specialist and the founder of Yoga Nama, a former corporate executive who spent over a decade from management trainee to business head with leading MNCs, including Citibank, Aviva, Generali, before finding her true calling in yoga. As a part of her wellness journey, she has completed over 700 hours of Yoga Alliance certified training in Hatha Yoga. She has also studied pranayama, Ayurveda, yoga philosophy, and Indian scriptures from some of the most reputed institutions in India and abroad. She's acclaimed as one of the most leading yoga influencers in India with a very engaged and dedicating following across social media platforms. She has been featured and published by India Today, Statesman, The Week, Business World, Elephant Journal, Cosmopolitan, Gracia, and other publications in India and abroad. Let's give a big round of applause to Namitha Piparaya.
Thank you, Swati, for that wonderful introduction. You've been very kind to me, and I'm so happy to be here today with you and absolutely admire the initiative that you have taken. So, good job there.
Thank you, Namitha. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's a pleasure. I absolutely love your social media pages, and I'm also a follower of your YouTube channel. I love all the asanas and the breathing techniques you incorporate. So thank you so much for the wonderful work you've been doing. And
Thanks, Swati.
to start off, can you tell me about how your journey of yoga started?
Oh, that's very interesting, Swati. It started while I have been practicing yoga in India. A lot of people do. So, as a child, I would practice off and on, but there was never very systematic, though I had a practice. It it was formalized when I moved to Mumbai for my job, and it was a very difficult transition for me. And if you're from India, you would be familiar that the transition from north to the west of Delhi can be challenging because it's very crowded, it's less spaces, it's super expensive,
Yeah.
and that was a very stressful period. That's when I found a yoga studio, and I thought, why not? It's next to my home. I can walk down, and that's when I started going for yoga, and I realized that just practicing for an hour made me feel so good. I used to call it my happy place. I think that was the point where the yoga journey started for me, because that's for the first time I understood how it was helping me manage my stress. I didn't clearly recognize it because I used to Google, why does yoga make me feel good? But I think that's the beginning of the yoga journey, if I could pinpoint.
I really like how you mentioned you like went to a yoga studio, and I feel like you're really giving me that positive vibe with sharing that beautiful journey of yours. So I'm sure that people are going to definitely be inspired by this episode. So thank you so much for that. And coming to the next question, what have been some of the failures you encountered in your yogic journey, and
Yeah.
how did you overcome them?
More than failures, I would say there are mistakes that I made, because failures sounds more permanent, but mistakes are
Yeah.
something you fix and then you move on from. And I think one of the first mistakes I made was taking too long to start teaching. And I think a lot of people feel that you do a TTC, but you don't feel fully confident about it. And then I took a while. I was like, no, I need to know more. I know I need to know more. So I did a lot more training. I supplemented with anatomy studies. I studied Yoga Sutras deeper. I took a separate training for pranayama. So all of that is great. That has helped me design the Yoga Nama way today. But in hindsight, I could have started much sooner. And for people who are starting out, I want you to know that have the confidence to start out, because you learn by teaching, not by studying.
For
And
sure.
that's one thing that I would have changed. At least a year I would have not spent kind of, strengthening my knowledge vis-a-vis starting teaching.
I love that. I love that you mentioned that, it's more of a mistake because you can learn from your mistakes and
Yeah.
kind of fix them. So that's wonderful, Namita. And coming to the next question I have for you is, if you had one piece of advice for someone who wants to get into yoga,
Yeah.
what would it be and why?
My first one would be open-minded. I think there is a tendency to find the right method for me, for yourself. And people ask me which one is the right method for me. And I would say explore. You must try out different styles. There is no one style that is better than the other. There is one that is going to be right for you, for your personality type, or for that phase in your life. So unless you explore, you will not find out. And I think there's more tendency to be rigid or to latch on to one thought process and stick to it in the early stages of our yoga journey, because you become
Yeah.
more open-minded naturally later on. But there is a tendency, I'm not saying everybody will be, to be a bit more stuck up on some thoughts or preconceived notions. And when you begin the journey, let it be a clean, wide open slate and
Yeah.
just explore. You will always learn if you're open-minded.
Yeah.
So
So when I like how you said explore, I feel like, when I got into yoga personally for me, I kind of navigated through that whole process, kind of learned about what exactly yoga is, and then kind of went around. I was a newbie to it at first when I started. And then now I kind of understand, but I'm still in the process of learning, right? So I like how you mentioned explore. That's a very important component in the yogic journey. So thank you for sharing that. And the next question I have for you is, can you tell me about what Yoganama is, your organization? What is it?
Yoga Nama started as a passion project, from my corporate life. I wanted to do something that I truly aligned with, that was aligned to my value system. And so Yoga Nama is an amalgamation of three pillars of mindful living, as I call it, which is yoga, Ayurveda, and philosophy. And I think that helps me encompass everything that, in terms of the messages that I want to give, because yoga as a practice, which includes both asanas and meditation, gives you a very nice way to manage stress and to do self work, to be more introspective and self aware. And Ayurveda, while it's looked at as more of a diet or a medicinal philosophy, which it is, but I also discover that it's a great way to introspect, because it gives you the personality types, it gives you the ways and means to identify what is right for you and live more intuitively, or even to identify what's the right yoga practice for you. And philosophy, I think, is that anchor that keeps you in place when nothing else works, because it
Yeah.
gives you that rule book of sorts, or something to hold on to. So I bring these three pillars together, and I do that through my content. I write, I have a blog, I teach classes, and I've just launched a platform, Yoganama TV,
Okay.
wherein I have a lot of yoga videos, about 80 plus videos, along
Wow.
with curated programs for people who want to learn meditation, for pranayam, for hatha, vinyasa, and restorative. So these are some things that I do.
That's wonderful, Namita. And I hope like everyone, please go check out Yoga Nama and the Yoga Nama TV. I'm sure you're going to benefit from that. Sounds like a great platform. I'll definitely look into it. And yeah, let us know how it went for you guys. I'm sure it will be amazing. Now,
Thanks.
Namita, the next question I have for you is, in terms of education, you are a math honors graduate from Delhi University, and you have an MBA in finance and marketing and symbiosis. What made you choose the pathway of yoga?
It was a moment of truth, actually, I'll tell you. So I had moved to Mumbai for that job, and I was stressed, as I shared with you before I found yoga. And
Yeah.
there was a point when I was offered a promotion, and that was a great opportunity. I was being asked to run the online business of the organization generally that I was in. And at that point, I wasn't excited. I should have called my mom, I'm getting a promotion, pay raise, everything. But I felt my heart sinking, because that meant putting in more time, more effort, more of my life into a job that, while I was hardworking, it wasn't something I was truly passionate about. And then I realized, if I say no to this promotion, what am I doing here anyway? What is the path that I'm looking at? How do I want to grow as a person, as a professional? I mean, there is a desire, right? All of us have to
Yeah.
continue to improve, to evolve. And I think that's when I realized I needed to do something that motivated me. And I was always into health and wellness. In fact, before Yoga Nama, I did have a startup which was an organic, mindful, fair trade living. It was an e-commerce startup. And
Okay.
after some time in that didn't take off. I realized I wanted to take off on my own, and I went to Mysore to do my yoga training. And that's how that transition happened.
I love that. First of all, hats off for, getting into the wellness journey and the wellness venture. And I'm sure you're going to do amazing with Yoga Nama. And the people who are yet to listen to this episode will definitely check it out and, give their insights on how it went for them in their Yoga Nama journey. Now, I have some hot yoga questions for you, Namita. This is my favorite segment.
Yeah.
So, to start off, do you have a favorite yogi or guru that inspires you?
I always have someone or something that's inspiring me, but that's usually through books. I'm an avid, voracious reader. And
Oh,
from time to
wow.
time, there's always been a book that has inspired me. From my earliest days, I can remember Ayn Rand used to really inspire me. And I was like a full a big fan of her books, and Fountainhead was like my book to go to for a long time. These days I have found a lot of inspiration in stoicism, so I just picked up Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, and I think he is my inspiration right now because I find a lot of similarity between the messages of Bhagavad Gita or Karma Yoga and Stoic philosophy. So if I had to choose for this present point in time, it would be the Stoic philosophy. That's my inspiration, and Marcus Aurelius's Meditations that I'm really enjoying reading.
That's super insightful, Namita. I will definitely look into that book and I'll let you know how it went for me.
Would love to hear.
Yeah. And next question I have for you is if you could roll out your yoga mat anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
That's actually two places. My number one choice would be my home with all my props and things because it's most comfortable. But now this that's there was a yoga retreat I did in Varanasi. Was one of my first yoga retreats, and it was absolutely beautiful. So the city has its own vibe, and I would love to go back there. And there was this one spot wherein our host took us early in the morning to this beautiful ashram, and it was dark because it was still not fully daylight and we couldn't see much, but he made us sit and we did our meditation practice, etc. Then we opened our eyes and there was the river Ganga right in front of us, and it was beautiful. I think that's the spot I want to go back to again. It's to
Wow. It
Varanasi.
sounds so serene and nice. I want to try it out for sure.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. And the final hot yoga question I have for you is what are your top three favorite yoga asanas or poses?
Oh yes, as a typical Pitta person, I love Pittavata person. I love pigeon pose, and I think the prone pigeon variation is something I really like. Child pose is always a favorite, and I like the twisted lizard pose. It kind of has a back bending element to it, and I enjoy it.
Very nice. I really enjoy child pose as well. I feel like I can really relax in that, and so it's
Yes.
a very like nice pose you've mentioned there. And I like
Yeah.
the other ones you've said as well, the other asanas. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And Namita, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. You're super sweet. I loved hearing your perspective of yoga, and you're very zen and peaceful, and I love your YouTube videos, as I've mentioned. And everyone, please do check out Namita's YouTube channel, her Instagram page. We will leave it in our description. And thank you to everyone who has yet to listen to the fifth episode of Inside the Minds of Great Yogis. And until next time, have a fantastic day, everyone. And thank you once again, Namita.
Thanks, Swati. It was wonderful chatting with you. You're a delightful host.
Thank you.